Hey, what's going on guys, it's James here, and as many of you know, I'm a massive fan of the Pokemon franchise. And definitely my favourite thing about the franchise is all of the different creatures that you can collect and build a team from and develop a special bond with. So today I thought I'd share with you a video that I've wanted to create for a very long time, my top 10 favourite Pokemon. Before I begin though, I must stress that these are my opinions. These are based on mostly design and my personal experiences with them. I'm not a competitive battler at all, and yeah, these are just my opinions. So if a Pokemon you absolutely love isn't on here, or a Pokemon you hate is on here, that's completely fine. We all have different opinions at the end of the day, and there are, what, 800 and something Pokemon now? I'm sure we're not gonna all love and hate the exact same ones. So without any further ado, let's jump into this list. Coming in at number 10 is Breloom. I've only ever used a Breloom in a playthrough once, which is in my copy of Alpha Sapphire, which I only played through about a year and a half ago. My Breloom Kanoko was an exceptional team member who swept the opposition in many a battle. The fact that he knew Leech Seed actually helped me out magnificently. I also think he has one of the coolest designs in Hoenn. He's based on a mushroom and a kangaroo, and the combination of those is something that you wouldn't really expect to work, but it does really well. And I will always have fond memories of using my Breloom. At number 9 is Braviary. A few years ago when me and my sister were organising for me to buy one of her Gen 5 games, she offered me black or white. And I chose white because I wanted a Braviary so bad. And I'm really glad I did, because he became a member on probably my greatest team I've ever had. His design is awesome. He has that cool red, white and blue colour scheme representing America, as he is a bald eagle. And the feathers on his head look so badass. An absolutely critical member on my favourite team, Braviary definitely deserves a spot on this list. What have we got? I don't think there's a more badass bird in existence than Staraptor. Staraptor is easily the best regional bird of all time, and has a phenomenal design. The colour scheme is great, and the hair flick over the top with the red tip. Oh, how can a bird look this good? I used a Staraptor called Hawk in my Platinum playthrough, and as he had access to close combat, he swept through the opposition. In my opinion, regional birds can often be underwhelming, but Staraptor defies that stereotype and is a complete and utter badass in all regards. Number 7 is Zebstrika. In my opinion, one of the few perfectly designed Pokemon. I wouldn't change a single thing about the way Zebstrika looks. Stripes being replaced with lightning bolts is such a cool design, and pairing a pretty awesome animal with one of my favourite typings was sure to go well. I used the Zebstrika in my white playthrough called Gigabyte, and he was amazing. I could always rely on him to tear through the opposition whenever needed. Gigabyte ended up being one of my favourite team members from my favourite team, so I think having him on this list is well deserved. Coming in at number 6 is Gliscor. In Gen 4, when they added new evolutions to previous generations Pokemon, I thought that was one of the coolest things ever. And I really wish they would do that more often now. My love for Gliscor is mainly based on design, as I've never actually used one in a playthrough at all. I've raised one up after the League in Gen 5 and I had good experiences with that, but I've never actually played through with one. But its design alone makes me love it. Its colour scheme is really, really cool, and its vampire bat mixed with scorpion design is just a really cool idea. I really hope I get to use one at some point, because maybe then it will climb up a few places. Number 5 is Decidueye. All the trailers leading up to Pokemon Sun and Moon, I was Team Poplio all the way. When the starter leaks turned out to be true, I switched ship and started the game with Rowlet, because Decidueye is so cool. Don't get me wrong, I love Primarina and really hope to get to play through a game with one sometime. I was actually quite disappointed in my Pokemon Ultra Sun unboxing when I unboxed a Litten instead of a Poplio, meaning I had to start the game with Litten. I've gotten really off track. I named my Decidueye Assassin, and he was my best friend through Alola. I could rely on him to tear through whatever Pokemon stood in his way. Also, his design is amazing. This tall, menacing owl with a grassy hood going over its head and shoulders that shoots arrows made of feathers. How much cooler could you possibly get? Definitely my favourite Alola Pokemon. Decidueye deservedly gets a spot on my list. Number 4 goes to my first ever Pokemon partner. Started in red, so is it Charizard? Venusaur? No, it's Blastoise. Easily the coolest Kanto starter. First of all, I do love myself a tortoise. And so, a tortoise with my favourite typing, with water cannons coming out of its shell. Blastoise is just astronomically cool. My Blastoise Obliterate was in the Pokemon Red Virtual Console and is now in my Ultra Sun version. Yes, I only started playing Pokemon in 2016. I had played it on friends' copies before then, but I never really had a game of my own until the 20th anniversary. I was only 12 at the time and it was my first proper Pokemon game, so I was one of those people who just sort of played through the whole game just using their starter, because their starter was so over leveled it could wreck everything, which is why I named my Blastoise Obliterate. Blastoise is easily the most nostalgic Pokemon for me and my favourite Kanto starter, and will always hold a very special place in my heart. But my favourite starter is actually Swampert. Yeah, I guess you could say I like Mudkips. How was that? Swampert was my starter in Alpha Sapphire and definitely my favourite team member. His name was Kaio and he was an absolute powerhouse. I can't really describe what it is about his design that I like so much. I think it's the everything. But out of all the starters, I would pick Swampert any day. He's just got that sort of charm about him and a little bit of derpiness. And I would not pick another starter over my boy Swampert. At number 2 is my favourite team member from my favourite team. Yes, it's my white team again, and it's Haxorus. I talked about Haxorus before in my top 10 characters I want for Smash 5 video, and all of the reasons that I said in that video are all the reasons that I love him. He's a dragon with an axe on his face. He's just the coolest Pokemon out there. My Haxorus was called Blade and tore through everything. I think in most playthroughs people have a Pokemon who sort of rivals their starter as being the best Pokemon on their team. That was Haxorus on my white team. He pretty much almost surpassed my Samurott. And Samurott was one powerful team member. Blade had an absolute killer moveset. A Dragon Claw, Brick Break, Earthquake, and Draco Meteor. There's no Pokemon that could stop him. Like, literally none. Except fairy types. Other dragons. They can stop him. I honestly don't understand how people can say all the Gen 5 Pokemon suck when Haxorus was among them. Definitely one of the best Pokemon ever created. In my opinion. So number 1, my favourite Pokemon of all time. My favourite Pokemon of all time is Luxray. Awesome colour scheme, check. Awesome design, check. Based off an awesome animal, check. Awesome typing, also check. I had a Luxray called Terabyte in my Platinum team who was definitely the best team member ever. As soon as I could evolve him, I did. As I said, Lynxes are awesome animals. I really love Lynxes. The colour scheme of black and blue with hints of gold is just it's wonderful. It is wonderful. I think one of the reasons Luxray's design really resonated with me is because I was an edgy teen, you know? Like, 21 Pilots, all the time. It's not a phase, mum. But even now looking at it, I can't help but think it's just such a cool Pokemon. And like almost every Pokemon in this list, I've had awesome experiences training a Luxray and raising it up and developing my own special bond with it. I doubt that there will ever be a Pokemon that in my mind surpasses Luxray as my favourite. So those are my top 10 favourite Pokemon of all time. And I'd love to hear your top 10 in the comments below. So anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe down below. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye. Oh, the sun. Ow. Stop.